8 men sentenced over Knowlsey Suites hotel disorder. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a splendid weekend. It's Monday, and my favourite thing to do on a Monday is read some stories about working class men getting stitched up like a kipper because the British government is incapable of administering justice freely and fairly without fear or favour. If you talk like me and you look like me, you get banged up for littering. If you don't, well, we all know how it works by now. And worst of all, this is bound to play into the Scousers victim complex, because they've jailed almost all of this lot for the crime of using a bit of harsh language. So I'm going to read you the story, and then I'm going to juxtapose the sentences of these not violent, verbal criminals alongside some other sentences for people that aren't working class Scousers. And you can guess what's going to spring up from my rigorous journalistic investigation. Here's my favourite one though. Girl gang who kicked woman in the head whilst yelling "kill the white slag" freed after the judge hears they weren't used to drinking. Because, well, the obvious. Yobs ripped lumps of hair from Ray Page's head, and the 3 sisters and a cousin all escaped with 6-month suspended sentences. Okay, so they were pulling tufts out of someone's head, and they all got 6-month suspended sentences. Can you guess if these working class Scousers got suspended sentences for talking loudly? All will be revealed shortly. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure this mystery out. Right then, if you didn't hear about this story, obviously it was in Merseyside, hence the reason I'm talking about Scousers. And it's now back in the headlines because of the frankly staggering sentences dished out to the blokes involved in it. 8 men have been sentenced over their involvement in violent disorder after trouble flared at a hotel housing asylum seekers. Violence broke out outside the Suites Hotel in Knowlsey, Merseyside last year, which was providing temporary accommodation for asylum seekers. A large group had gathered and rocks and fireworks were thrown at police. Ringleader Brian McPadden, 61, was jailed for 3 years and 6 months at Liverpool Crown Court. Sentencing the men, Judge Watson said McPadden was the self-appointed frontman who rallied and encouraged others for several hours at the protest. There were gasps from the public gallery as he was jailed. Gasps because those people don't listen to my channel or pay attention to anybody in a reasonable centre-right YouTube sphere that is fully aware that if you look and sound like a pasty white Scouser, you can't so much as fart in front of a copper without getting banged up for it. And as I keep talking about, the aforementioned Tony Romo, whose real name I can't say on this platform, is always getting locked up. They cannot get enough of locking him up. And I judged him the first time when the media threw him in front of me and started demonising him. And then I watched him give a lengthy speech at the Oxford University and I was like, well, hang on a sec, sounds like he's been getting stitched up. So then I read his book, and at the end of it, I was genuinely flabbergasted. The law is not fit for purpose in the United Kingdom. As I just showed you, you can knock 10 bells of shite out of an innocent woman, but if you look a certain way, they'll let you off. I'm aware that this type of thing used to happen to black people in the United States predominantly, but switching it on its head and now just stitching up whitey isn't really solving the problem, is it? It's just making the law look like an arse, as usual. Thomas Mills brought a banner to the protest urging people to shout to get the asylum seekers out and was sentenced to 2 years and 8 months. 2 years and 8 months? If a Somalian pirate who sneaked over in the back of a van full of tomatoes fingered an 8-year-old, he wouldn't get 12 months for it. And this isn't hyperbole. I've brought the receipts. Suspended sentence for man who sexually assaulted partner's young daughter. Hundreds of convicted rapists allowed to walk free despite sickening crimes. And the old favourite killed the white slag, 6-month suspended sentence after violently kicking 10 bells of shite out of someone in a gang. But 3 years for carrying a banner. You have to laugh, it's so preposterous. The old joke about the English being slow to anger, and you know, there's several stand-up comedians from the United States talked about this, saying when their guys lose their shit, when their guys get pissed off, somebody gets shot. Back in the UK, people are like write an angry letter about the most egregious behaviour, but now they're even locking you up for the angry letters. brilliant. Paul Lafferty was handed the same sentence for talking, while John Joe O'Donoghue was sentenced to 3 years and 6 months in a young offenders institution. Former British Army soldier Liam Jones was sentenced to 27 months, while John Tipler was jailed for 2 years. Warren Cullen, who was on a community order at the time, was jailed for 20 months, and Harry Boynton was given a 16-month suspended sentence along with 200 hours of unpaid work. Harry Boynton was probably giving out leaflets or something, but he still got 3 times the sentence of those women that battered someone in the street, and twice as long as the hundreds of convicted rapists that got let off scot-free. If you think the law isn't a joke in the United Kingdom, you are either willfully ignorant or blind, deaf and dumb. At this point, I'm just glad I don't live there anymore, because I would feel no compunction to obey it any longer. It's a joke. Lady Justice doesn't wear a blindfold anymore. She's got a Jeremy Corbyn sweater on and a big daft pink hat with fanny lips on it. But this is the world we're living in. It's crazy. But as usual, that's just what I think. If you think that's a perfectly reasonable sentence, please leave a comment and I will respond calling you an absolute maniac. Alright? As always, thanks for watching, have a great week, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.